This week's weekly breakdown is going to be a little bit different. We have been doing the weekly breakdown for a little over a year now, and well, actually, I think it's been longer than that. We've been doing it for a while now, and we haven't really changed up the format of it and reduced, and it's the same thing like every time, little intro, whatever. We're gonna mix it up. I want this to be more candid. I want this to be a little bit more like informal. I want this to be like easier to consume. I want this to be easier to create on my side. So let me know what you think. This is gonna be our first one in this format. So super interested to hear like what your guys' thoughts are on it. But let's jump right in. So those of you guys that don't know, weekly breakdown, we basically get HighLevel's change log, and HighLevel's change log is accessible at ideas.gohighlevel.com/changelog. We get every update from HighLevel's changelog into our ClickUp board here. Okay. When they come in, they all stack up in this to review category. And then I personally go through each one and say, hey, this is relevant for us or for our clients. And if it's relevant to us, but not really for our clients, then I'm dropping it in relevant, don't cover. If it's not relevant at all, then I'm dropping it in dismissed. And if it's important enough, valuable enough to try and pack into my 15-minute weekly breakdown, then that's what puts it in this category. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into the first one here, which is that customizing posts for each social media channel with images and videos. That just got a lot easier. So if we go in here and we look at the change log, basically we have always had the ability to customize for each channel. Okay. We've always had that ability. What we now have the ability to do is actually, instead of just customizing the text, which is how this was set up before, we now actually have the ability to customize the image and the video for each channel as well. So again, before we could customize for each channel, but we could only customize the text that accompanied the media that we provide. So we wouldn't be able to provide a different formatted image for LinkedIn that we do for Instagram, which is obviously a problem if you know social. So now when you optimize or customize for each channel, now you have the ability to select different media as well. So check this out. Let us know what you think. This is definitely going to be I think a great update for anybody that's using the social planner. All right, next up, we have this vCard support in the QR code builder. Now, first off, did you know that you had a QR code generator inside of your account? If you didn't, here is your sign. Let me find it really quick. So under marketing, it's going to be actually under site. So if you go to sites, QR codes is like the last menu on there. You can see the ones that we've created. Really cool. They're like good looking. It's not like your old school QR code. Like here's a super basic one, but there's some other cool stuff that you can do with it as well. So definitely big fan of the QR code generator. Now you have the ability, when you create a QR code, you can link directly to a vCard, which is like your phone's format for contact cards. So this makes it so that if you set up this QR code, you attach your vCard to it, you now have the ability, if you're out at a networking event, if you're out at, whatever, meet and greets, happy hours, whatever it is, you now have the ability to just have a QR code that you can show somebody, have them scan it, and it'll instantly pull up your contact card with all of your contact information inside of it. So this is something, there are tools out there that are designed specifically to do this, right? This is just like, like Linktree, like you can do everything in Linktree that you can do in Linktree, you can do in HighLevel. QR code generation for the purpose of sharing a contact card. I believe Blink is the app that we've used for this in the past, and now we don't have to use that. So this is pretty cool. This is also all of the things that you can link to directly, and then dynamic URLs are supported. What does that mean? That means you have the ability to change the URL over time and keep the same QR code. So really, really cool feature. If you're not already using QR codes, here's one more reason to jump in there. All right, this next update is an update to the review widget. So this is under reputation inside your account. If you go to reputation and then you head over to widgets over here, you'll have the ability to create widgets. You'll also have the ability to select from pre-built templates in here. This has been there for a while, but you've got a couple new options for review widgets, including, let's pull up this update really quick, including you have a floating review badge widget. And so what does this look like? We're just going to pull up the update here so you can see the screenshots. So this is what the floating review badge widget looks like. This right here. So you can get this sliding across the screen. You can get this just popping up on your screen. You have a couple different options. The other thing that they added here, okay, so the template library is new. That's good because I didn't call that out, but I also didn't remember seeing that. So yeah, template library is new. You now have a template library for these different review widgets, which is cool. Ability to customize deeper. And then last one, this one's cool. This is that AI review summary. So if you ever go on Google and you're looking at somebody's reviews, typically they have nowadays like an AI summary. Amazon, maybe Google doesn't have it, I don't know, but Amazon, if you're shopping on Amazon, you scroll down, you go to the reviews, there's always an AI generated summary at the top. This is like that, where you can have an AI summary generated about your reviews and have it show up at the top of your review widget there. So pretty cool stuff. Definitely some massive improvements with that reputation widget, and there's some other cool stuff related to reputation as well. So definitely, again, another thing, take this as a sign to dive in and learn a little bit more about the reputation management section. All right, these next couple updates are all related to the funnel and website builder. This is good news. Typically when you see clusters of updates like this, it means big things are happening in that specific area. So when I'm referring to funnels and websites, like the page builder, that's its own kind of department within HighLevel. And so to see clusters of updates coming out from them is a really good sign. So a couple new things, you've got new animations, new animation customizations in funnels and websites, and a number counter widget. There was another one last week that I don't think I shared, which is the logo showcase. And so you have a couple new elements that we use ElfSite. A lot of the times we'll use ElfSite to create design elements that aren't super easy to execute inside of HighLevel. And HighLevel is adding more and more elements to their page builder that make it so that we don't have to go over there. That logo showcase is one of them. As it is right now, our logo carousel is custom code coming from ElfSite, but now they have their own logo showcase option that gives us the ability to come in. I think I can change these to like black and white potentially, or maybe I just have to upload the images in black and white to be able to do that. But there's the logo showcase option here. And then the number counter option is going to be like that effect where, you know, like a use case for mortgage would be like, yeah, number of pre-approvals issued, number of loans closed, number of, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, number of families served in 2024, like however it is that you want to do that. Those little widgets that you see where like the number is counting animated as you come on the screen, that is now possible with HighLevel due to that number widget. So definitely check that out. Between that and that logo showcase, again, they're just building more and more ways that you don't have to use outside tools. You can use the in-house page builder and get everything that you're looking for. On that same note, they've overhauled the color picker as well. I believe I have to enable this in labs, so let me check it out really quick. Let's go into settings. We're going to go to labs. This is a reminder, if you're an EmpowerLO client, anything that you see me enable in labs in here, I will also be enabling for everybody with EmpowerLO. Nope, we're good. It's already there. Okay, so didn't need to do that. If we go into here, we should be able to go to a page just like we did. Okay, so they do have a new color picker interface. It's not crazy different, but it is cool that they have some default colors in here. They have custom, you know, your custom colors, which they have had, but they haven't always been accessible at every place that you access the color picker. So I think that's part of this update, is making that experience more uniform. It also makes it easier to save any color that you add in here, add a name to it, and have it saved in these custom colors right here. So like all of these are named just my custom color, my custom color. Now that we have the ability to change those names, looks like we might have already had that, but definitely easier to change those names, make those edits now. Coming in here, I can grab this one, my custom color. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Boom, right there. But I could come in here and change this one to like, you know, Empower Purple. Okay. Boom, like that. So new color picker interface, pretty cool. Definitely an improvement. Again, I'm more just excited to see this cluster of updates around the page builder, because it means that other cool stuff is probably coming too. All right, last update here, smarter message sending, blocking known failures before they happen. Okay, so it says we've added a new pre-send validation layer to proactively block messages that are known to fail. So essentially what this is you have Twilio failure messages, like when somebody has been unsubscribed, or you're trying to send to a landline, or it's an invalid number, whatever it is. Okay, so you have those error messages, and those error messages are triggered every time you attempt to send a message. And if you get too many of those error messages, it affects your deliverability. And so this is an issue because HighLevel didn't have a way of being able to stop from those messages going out other than you marking them as DND. And so yes, we have automations in place in our clients' accounts that say, hey, when you get this error message, mark this contact as DND, but that's not always the best way to go about it. Sometimes errors are temporary as well, and we don't necessarily want to mark them as DND when that happens. So now they have these pre-send validations that are going to take place for every message that goes out, because it's cheaper to run that validation than it is to send a message and have it go against your like deliverability scores. And I don't know like how, like, I don't know what the actual cost difference is, if it's literally cheaper like on the first request, like it's cheaper to make that request than it is to try and send a message, or if it's just cheaper in the long run because you're not going to have your deliverability impacted. Not 100% sure on that. I'm sure we'll know more as we go, but ultimately we're looking at this as a positive. We're looking at this as a way to help our clients maintain the reputation of their phone numbers and their A2P registrations, and make sure that they can continue to text. Definitely, if you have any questions on this, let us know. There are some new error messages that you'll see where these error messages are coming from HighLevel and not coming from Twilio, which is exactly how it's supposed to be working. So again, let us know if you have any questions, but otherwise that's it for that update. All right, and with that, I move this last one over to here, maybe drag it over, and that means I am done with the weekly breakdown this week. Guys, let me know what you think of this format. There's no background music, there's no intro, there's no outro. It's going to be a little bit shorter. I'm hoping more organic. I'm hoping like that you see my process through this, and that it's more valuable for you guys to watch my process through it than it is for me to give you my most polished like version at the end. So let me know if you have any questions or feedback. Would love to hear it. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the top.